Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? LiveWire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is LiveWire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
What's good, Chicago Bulls fans? All right, this is your boy LiveWire Sports Entertainment. Now, I'm here to bring y'all some off-season, after-season, end of the season news for the Chicago Bulls and what the Chicago Bulls can do to move forward in a projecting light for the 2024 season. Now, we know the Chicago Bulls have won their game in the play-in against the Toronto Raptors, but nevertheless, the Chicago Bulls also advanced to play the Miami Heat. Now, a game that was pretty much and they could have easily won, but nevertheless, you know, there was some misfortunes. Zach didn't shoot well. You know, he had a monster game in Toronto. A lot of people was criticizing him. He didn't show up. They was talking about his contract. And nevertheless, man, you can't always be hard on a player because of what kind of money they make. I mean, players don't show up. They just don't show up sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But Zach been hearing the critics all year long. Everybody's been bashing Zach. Everybody would say, oh, you need a trade. And the thing about it is you have idiotic fans out there that don't know nothing about realistic trades, cap situations, luxury tax. They always screaming. I've been seeing the comments all year. Trade Zach, trade Vvash, trade DeMar, get them all out here, rebuild. And then what you going to have? Being realistic, what are you going to have on a roster? You know what I'm saying? Who are you going to bring in? You're going to probably be more of a lottery pick every year than trying to win games, trying to make it to the playoff. But nevertheless, now I've been very critical of Vucevic throughout the season, and especially when it comes to the lack of defense standpoint. You know, he gets lackadaisical. Sometimes to me, it seems like Vooch, he plays hard. Now, I'm not saying he don't play hard every game, but he plays hard when you have like less good teams. You know what I'm saying? It took Zach 39 points to carry the team to beat Toronto because Toronto's very lengthy. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back to, you know, there was rumors about the Bulls wanting Jakob Poeltl. You know what I'm saying? You got Max Strauss over there in the Miami Heat that was from the Chicago Bulls area. And it just seemed like sometimes the Bulls just either AK and Eversley stay pat, you know, be stubborn to stay pat. Billy Donovan don't coach to his potential. He's just not a good coach to get this team over the hump. I'm just being honest with you. You know, he got an extension on his contract now, and maybe they could get out of his extension. Maybe not. I mean, you got Ime Udoka out there. I'll be trying to buy out Billy Donovan's contract, to be honest with you, and hire Ime Udoka, revamp this whole team. So me personally, I just feel like this team needs a revamping in a lot of areas. DeMar, you know, I was looking at Jimmy Butler and DeMar. I think DeMar is just probably a year or two older than Jimmy, but Jimmy's in his 30s year. I look at Jimmy with the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat always find players to fit the bill around. They built that team around Jimmy Butler. Completely built that team around Jimmy Butler. Gave Jimmy Butler shooters, gave Jimmy Butler defense. So what I'm saying to you, why in the heck they cannot do that for Zach? Now, granted, you brought Lonzo in, but at the same time, if Lonzo cannot go next year, it's time to look for cap relief for his own contract. You know what I'm saying? Because you wasted time. Now, you can go after Javonte Murray next year because he's a free agent. And that's the person that I really wanted with them. I think he would have fit perfectly what they needed to do. Max Strauss, he's a free agent. But you better believe the Miami Heat gonna do everything they can to try to re-sign him. I will try to get him. If you can't get him, there's a Steph Curry out there. He's a free agent, great shooting guard. You can bring him off the bench. You can spot him up shooting. You got Austin Reeves out there. He's a restricted free agent, and most likely he's going to get paid with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers is going to do everything to keep him. Now, if somebody come out there and offer him more money, yeah, he definitely is going to go. But if the Bulls offer him a 4 year, if they could do a signing trade with DeMar DeRozan, you know what I'm saying? If you bring to me, because you could easily, I won't say easy, but if you was just do a signing trade, get rid of DeMar DeRozan contract and bring in Austin Reeves in and put him in that starting lineup, you have a person that could break down, he could penetrate, he could kick out, he's tough, he's younger. Then you have somebody the role with Zach. You know what I'm saying? The power forward position on the Bulls is need to be addressed. I don't think Patrick Williams is it. I think you need somebody to come in there. You could bring somebody like if you just say, for instance, if you wanted to keep let me say, if you wanted to keep somebody like Vucevic, you could bring in a Naz Reid to start along him. You could go for Crystal Woods that could replace him. You could go for Jakob Poeltl. You know what I'm saying? And I think Najjar Jerry for Toronto gonna do everything to keep Jakob Poeltl. So the Bulls gonna have to find some ways and to regroup this front. I don't think running the back with these three is the answer. I think you're gonna have to get rid of one. But the thing about it is, you're gonna have to get prepared to lose Vucevic. I think Vucevic is gonna give the Chicago Bulls the opportunity to make it right. If he stays, he stays. If he doesn't, there's other options out there. You could get a Christian Wood. You know what I'm saying? Put him in the lineup. He's long. You know, he's not the caliber of who he is. I would even try to keep Andre Drummond. I would get Christian Wood and make him come off the bench and let give Andre Drummond the option. Because to be honest with you, Andre Drummond, you know, he had his moments this year. You know, he did get in a foul trouble, but I think if you gave him the starting role, he did good rebounding for us. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like there's a lot of opportunities that for the Chicago Bulls to revamp themselves. Say, for instance, if they did keep all three, then you're going to have to let some people go. Or you're going to allow Kobe to move in the starting role. You know what I'm saying? Because you definitely need a point guard. Now, that means if you moved off of DeMar and moved Kobe to the shooting guard spot, let Zach stay, or move Kobe to the point, move Zach to the shooting guard spot. And then what? You're gonna have to figure out the power forward position. But if you kept all three, then I will move Kobe to the point guard spot. Let him start to see how it works through the season. I will go for somebody like D'Angelo. Now, if you go for somebody like D'Angelo Russell, you have to start him. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo is not gonna come off the bench. You got guys like Kyle Anderson that's gonna be a free agent. Jeremy Grant. You know what I'm saying? You could easily get away from DeMar and go for Jeremy Grant. They was linked to him before. They wanted Jeremy Grant before. They never got him. Say, for instance, you could move off of DeMar. Even if you did, honestly, if you moved off of Vooch, from Vooch, now that's not going to give you a cap space because all your picks is tied up for the next few years until that Portland pick, if it turns. But at the same time, you're going to have to evaluate everything to make sure that the Chicago Bulls roster is a little bit different next year. You can't just go in there. Then you got Jaylen Brown, that's a free agent in 2024. Now, if you made a blockbuster trade for, say you package DeMar and Vooch, in the first for Jaylen Brown and some other players, then hey, then that'll be good because you got Jaylen Brown and Zach. They both slasher. You can easily move Zach to the shooting guard, move Jaylen Brown to the four, to the small forward position. Um, you find you could easily get somebody like D'Angelo Russell. Like I said, you could bring on the Max Strus. You know what I'm saying? D'Angelo run the point. You got Max Strus, small forward, move Jalen to the power or a wing, small power wing, and then you get your center. You have a whole revamp. But that's just wishful thinking at this moment. But the main thing that the Chicago Bulls need, they definitely need shooting. They need 3-point shooting. The thing about it is, if you're going to keep DeMar Vooch, say you bring all three of these back, and Vooch comes back, and you got Vooch, DeMar, and Zach, then guess what? You're gonna have to find shooting off the bench. You're gonna have to have more lethal shooting. That's why I say like somebody like Steph Curry, Max Stroud will be good. You could easily pick up them guys. You could get rid of Derrick Jones Jr., get rid of Javante Green, which is I like them guys, but they defense and they can't really shoot. These guys can't really shoot. Javante Green has not been healthy all year. He's been nicked up last year, and now you can see it hurts our roster because even though we get guys to fill the roster, but Billy Donovan don't even play these guys. Me personally, I trade our young pieces. Marco, if you're not gonna use him, he's been on the roster for 2 seasons. If you're not gonna use him, get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if Io might be a casualty. He might not be with this team. He has regressed this year. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been the same. He hasn't been shot. Now, I think because he was starting last year most of the time in and out the lineup. Then you got Alex Caruso. I think you could still keep him for defense. I think you could keep Patrick Beverley for defensive purpose, but you're going to have to fill that roster with shooters. You know what I'm saying? You're going to need somebody like a Matt Stroud for shooters, a Kyle Anderson, guys that could come in, spread the floor, and shoot and play defense at the same time. I think those two guys, if you could sign them, you can. You know what I'm saying? Or if you get a Jeremy Grant, then if you able to get Jeremy Grant, I would definitely move off of DeMar. I will move off the DeMar because Jeremy Grant could give you the same thing DeMar can, and he's a little bit younger. But he's getting up there. But to me personally, if me personally, I think like I said, Cal Anderson, he's just a shooter. He played defense and everything, but he's not that great. But you gotta look at shooting is the main issue for this team. That's what the Bulls need. They need shooting overall, and I don't feel rather AK is telling the media what he want to tell them and say, "Oh, I want to bring everybody back," but realistically, I think he knows that he can't bring everybody back. There's no way you can bring the same team back with everybody on here and go through the same thing, struggle through the year. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to figure out what's this after this year, next year coming out. You're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do with what what's the guy Lonzo Ball. You're gonna have to figure this out. You're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do with these guys. There's no way that this roster could be that. It's not great because if you look at it, in everybody in the Eastern Conference had got better. Atlanta made the playoffs. Wow, they made the playoffs even though there was a play-in. Miami Heat was a play-in. They made the playoffs. Me personally, if I was AK and Eversley, I would mimic what the Miami Heat done with Jimmy Butler. I would solely make Zach the focus. He has a bigger contract and he's younger. I will make Zach the focus, and you could still use Vooch if he decides to stay. If not, get somebody younger to put his spot. I think Jakob Poeltl would be a good fit to run with Zach. He played defense. He could score inside. He's a rebounding machine. You know what I'm saying? I think Andre, bring Andre Drummond in, and the thing about it is Billy Donovan don't know how to give minutes. I mean, there's times that you could have used Vooch and Andre Drummond on the floor at the same time, and you could have do that. You know, so there was times you could have do that, and especially in the Toronto game, I would have did that. I would definitely have did that because that would have slowed down a lot of things that Toronto did. Now, granted, we won the game, but nevertheless, I just feel like this team needs an overhaul, man. I'm all for who. I'm not. Honestly, I don't want Zach to be traded. That's the one thing I don't want it to happen. Zach is the cornerstone. He supposed to be the face of that team. You know what I'm saying? But the same thing Miami have done with Jimmy Butler. They gave them a point guard. They gave Jimmy Butler shooters with Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, now Max Strus. You know what I'm saying? You got Bam Adebayo, you there anchor the middle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're not a great. I mean, people say, well, Miami Heat is not a great shooting team, but they can shoot threes good. Then you got a bench. You got all of these guys off the bench that come in and can score and play defense. That's what Chicago needs. They need a team. They need to be a team like that. They need to be a team that's tough, willingly, and stuff like that. Now, hopefully, that AK after their press conference with him and what's the gun boy, Billy Donovan. I just feel like at the end of the day, they're gonna have to make some of this hard decisions. And like I said, if they bring all three of these guys back, they need to get rid of that bench. That bench need to be with defense and shooters. Patrick Beverly could stay because he could run the second unit. He's very smart, very intelligent, and he played hard in defense. And then sometimes you might want to need him down the stretch for defensive purpose. Alex Caruso, you could keep him there. And that's another thing about Alex Caruso. He can't stay healthy a lot now. You know what I'm saying? So because he plays so hard. So I mean, I think I'm good with keeping Alex and Alex and um Pat Bell. But Pat Bell might want to leave and go play for a contender. As the rumors have it that he might go down into Miami. I mean, these guys wants to win, and Chicago looks like they not trying to win. They're not even. It's like they can't even get in the damn playoffs to just to try to make something swing, something happen. Because let me tell you something. If Chicago had like 45, 47 games on their belt and had a good seed, like a 4, 5, 6 seed, and these guys will want to stay and say, hey, I want to stay because we very, very close. We can't even challenge the Atlanta Hawks, man. We can't even challenge the New York Knicks. Look at the New York Knicks, for instance. They got Quigley, Evan Fournier. You got Julius Randle. They built around Julius Randle, and they went out and they got a point guard, Jalen Brunson. You know what I'm saying? These are the things that you got to look at how other teams are constructing a team, and you got to combat that. You got to put in the same kind of players to match these teams. You know what I'm saying? Look. I mean, yeah, we finally beat Philadelphia this year, but look at Philadelphia, man. Now next, look at Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? You got three guys. You got Giannis, you got Drew Holiday, and you got Middleton. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else steps up. You know what I'm saying? You got a beast like Bobby Portis come off the bench. You got Brook Lopez. They play big, and they still could score points. So why we can't match these teams, man? Why? That's why I say why Drummond. We could have had an extra big on the bench. Drummond could have played. He could have played. He literally could have started some of the games this year. If we had another big that could come behind Vooch and bring in, and if you want to run small on the bench to relieve Andre Drummond, you know what I'm saying? Patrick Williams could have been that reliever. Patrick Williams is not really a starting material. You know what I'm saying? Who you had starting? Pat Bell, Zach, DeMar, Patrick Will, and Vooch. You could have brought Drummond in there and allowed that and have that guy. Drummond would have been able to do a lot of things to help Vooch. Vooch would have been Drummond could have helped Vooch. Vooch and Drummond could have feed off each other and been them two bigs that could like really cause problems. Now, when teams run small, then you go small. You take them off the floor and run small because you have athletic wings such as Derrick Jones Jr., Javonte Green, all of these other guys. You know what I'm saying? You end up starting Dale and Terry, bringing him in to get some minutes while Marco can come in to get some burn. There's opportunities that this Billy Donovan has missed this year that have really hurt this team in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of ways that we could have really match up. It's all about matchups in the league and NBA. It's all about matchups. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we beat the Lakers. Yeah, we lost to the Lakers the second time. Yeah, we beat the Clippers and all of this stuff. The Mavericks. Look, you got to look at these teams, how these teams are being built. If you're not trying to construct your roster the way it needs to be, so I just feel like at the end of the day, this is, this could be a wasted opportunity for Chicago Bulls. If they don't go into this offseason with a really good plan, I don't see after next year you keep any of these guys. I mean, and much as I love Zach, I just don't see you keep all of them. You know what I'm saying? Or keeping this core together. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have to make changes. I mean, I love DeMar. I know him and Zach got a good chemistry together, but at the same time, these guys need help, man. And I kept saying it since last year that they needed 3 points. Man, you gotta look at the name from Philadelphia tortures us at 3 points. We don't have no great 3-point defense, and we don't create 3-point shots. Then you gotta look at another thing. Max Strus tore us up. You know what I'm saying? Look at the young Sacramento Kings, how they are. Teams that can shoot good from the 3-point line, we don't defend well. We need guys that can defend, and we need guys that can shoot the three also. Because if we had guys that could shoot the three, it makes teams play us a whole totally different. That way that DeMar and Zach could be free, you know what I'm saying? Because then they know they could kick it out, and guys gonna knock down shots. And when you got guys from the outside knocking out shots, it makes the opponent play you a whole totally different way. That free up stuff in the inside for like somebody like Vooch, because you can't crowd them now. You can't crowd the paint. You got to defend. You stretch everybody out. You know what I'm saying? That leaves open lanes for Zach and DeMar. And then if they get fouled, then you got a 3-point play. You know what I'm saying? This is what the Chicago Bulls need to be. Look at Golden State, even though they ain't playing well, but look how they doing. You got somebody like Draymond running the point guard because he's the point guard of the team. You know what I'm saying? They don't expect for him to shoot, but he plays defense and he rebounds. Now he'll take a few Dennis Rodman shots here and there, but at the same time, your main shooters is Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, and Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? They got multiple scorers on this team. Chicago don't have that because there's going to be games Vooch don't show up. And who you going to get the extra production of? Now, Kobe does it from time to time, but you can't rely on him to do that every night. You know what I'm saying? If DeMar and Zach is off, who's going to step up? And if you got 2 of the 3 off, who the hell is going to step up? Like Zach in the Toronto game, he went off. But you can't expect for Zach to do that every night. You know what I'm saying? Keep him at 25, 26. And if he has a hot hand, the only main 3-point shooters on this team is Zach and Kobe White. And if they off at 3-point, we only shoot 10% from 3-point land this year. We was bottom of the barrel. We not a good 3-point shooting team. But then if we get hot, we get hot. But at the same time, you got to look at it. It doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. So my thing is that I think Chicago, like I said, Chicago has their work cut out for them guys, and I'm here to tell you, it ain't pretty, bro. It ain't pretty at all. So y'all guys let me know what you think. But at the end of the day, man, we need a lot of work. So this offseason gonna be tough, but until then, enjoy the NBA playoffs. I'll see y'all when I see you. Peace.